Why did Batman arrest his sidekick? Because he was Robin. Ha 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 ha. And people say my jokes are bad. Holy batballs, why couldn't I have been adopted by Superman? Come along, Robin. It's time to do your schoolwork. It's time to Thwip. What's up, everybody? I'm AJ, and welcome back to another Thwip Side review. And today I'm sharing with you my review of the McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse Gold Label Robin Dick Grayson, or Robin the Boy Wonder. Now, I have been skipping not going over the packaging with the DC Multiverse figures from McFarlane because it's the same packaging we've been getting since 2020 when the line first came out. But I wanted to share with you guys this packaging for this figure because I thought it was interesting. I think it's a mess up on McFarlane's part. So, this is labeled as Robin Dick Grayson Robin. But the artwork is clearly Jim Lee from All-Star Batman and Robin the Boy Wonder. But the packaging is labeled everywhere, and here we have, of course, Jim Lee's artwork. Robin Dick Grayson DC Rebirth. So I think that's a mistake on McFarlane Toys, because this clearly is not Robin from DC Rebirth. And I just thought I'd share it with you because I thought it was funny. But this is supposed to be classic Dick Grayson as Robin the Boy Wonder, and that's clearly what he is. And as you can see in my background here, I have two different covers of issue number 1 of Batman and Robin the Boy Wonder, which inspired this figure. It's not a big deal to me at all. I just figured I'd point that out. We'll go over accessories. Of course, you see him standing on the tried and true McFarlane DC Multiverse base. And you get, of course, the card with the Jim Lee artwork and the bio. And here it still says DC Rebirth. And then what I think is cool about this figure is the options you get, namely with the accessories. First, you get this batarang with the rope. I have it. It comes in the box still tied up. I'm not going to untie it, but I thought that was pretty cool. And it's not plastic. It's actual, like, rope. And then the coolest thing is you get 1, 2, 3 extra sets of hands. I'll scooch down a little bit here. So yeah, you get 3 extra sets of hands for obviously four sets total. So options, as I always say, are great. So really happy with what Robin came with. Now, when McFarlane Toys revealed this figure, saying that it would be coming out, I jumped all over the pre-order as soon as the pre-orders were up because I wanted to definitely add this figure into my collection. We don't get a lot of Robin Dick Graysons anymore. Of course, we usually get them as Nightwing. And also, during that reveal, of course, the internet had to decide to moan and groan and outright bitch that it was all reuse of the Carrie Kelly Robin, which I believe it is. Pretty much all reuse, except for, of course, the head. And the reds are a little different, a different shade. This is like a brighter red. And this is like a toned down red. So the shading is a little different. And the underpants. You have the scales on Robin the Boy Wonder. No scales on the underpants of Carrie Kelly Robin. But besides that, it is the same. The one thing that threw me off was the cape. Because, stand Robin. How here, his cape swoops like this. Carrie's bends back, but I think that's more due to how each figure was packaged. And I didn't heat this up or anything out of the package, so I believe that's it. But it is the same cape. Now, the one thing I did fear about this figure being reuse of the Carrie Kelly Robin is on my copy and on a lot of people's copies that I see, like on Instagram and things like that, that Carrie Kelly's ankle joints are stuck as hell. And in a lot of cases, I've seen pictures on Instagram where they've snapped. And that's the same with mine. My ankle joints on Carrie Kelly are very, very stuck. I've heated them up several times and I cannot get them to budge. So I was very disappointed in that respect. Obviously, I am going to try again. But the good news is that my worries were all for nothing, because either they noticed the QC issue or heard about the people, clearly upset, and rightly so, about Carrie Kelly's ankle joints, and there is no problem with this robin whatsoever. They're nice and fluid. They spin, they will twist nicely. You get a little bit of rocker, so nice, fluid ankles. Weren't stuck at all. Didn't even have to heat them up. So really, really happy that it seems like they went and corrected that obvious QC issue with Carrie Kelly and a lot of copies of that figure. But besides that, it's the same articulation. You get all the bells and whistles. I will say, just like Carrie Kelly, though, be careful, because, of course, this is a smaller figure, so everything is tinier. So you don't want to put a lot of pressure while articulating him, or at least I don't recommend it for fear of it snapping. But I haven't had a problem. I've just noticed, well, maybe his wrist joint, oh, no, there it goes. I was like, maybe that is a little stuck, but it's not. I'm saying I didn't have a problem with it before, because I've had him for a couple days and I've been playing around with him. So yeah, all the bells and whistles of the Carrie Kelly articulation are there. I do like the nice head tilt and movement, so really cool. And as I said, very happy that they improved the ankle joints. So presentation wise, I'm still going to go and show off the figure, because some people might not have checked out the Carrie Kelly Robin, and of course he is different. He is Dick Grayson, and I do think he came out pretty cool. I will say at first I wasn't a fan of, I didn't hate it, but I wasn't a super fan of the face portrait. But it's grown on me. But to me, in a lot of ways, this seems like it'd make a good Jason Todd, or a better Jason Todd face portrait, more than a Dick Grayson. When I think of classic Dick Grayson, I think, because of like the older comics and stuff, his head's not as ovally. It's like, I don't know how, more like squarish, I guess, but it's totally fine, and I don't hate the figure for it. Just wanted to point that out. There is the tiniest bit of some kind of paint work. It's not a lot, just to bring out the details in the hair a little bit. It's almost unnoticeable, but I think there is some there. I hate that I do have a nick. I don't know if you see right there on the side of the neck, because he is already sold out. The pre-orders were sold out. I'm hoping that he comes up again once everything ships on McFarlane Toy Store, because I believe he was a McFarlane Toy Store exclusive only, because I would love to make my Jason Todd custom with the scale underwear. But Carrie Kelly will have to do if not. But anyway, so moving on, get the nice big R with the little, I don't even know what you call these clips on his like tunic. You got the nice yellow belt and the wrinkles. And there's some nice wrinkles on the gloves and on the shoulders. Moving down to the legs. And of course you get the little elf boots. And then a nice swoosh cape. Not overly swooshy. I'm more of a fan when they're straighter, but this is cool too. It's fine. And here he is next to the McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse 3 Joker's Batman, and I think it scales pretty decently with him. He comes up to close to chest high in the figure, so I think that's about right. I think Dick Grayson Robin was early teens, if I remember. So yeah, that's about right, and I think it scales pretty good. So bottom line for me is that I really love this Dick Grayson Robin the Boy Wonder figure. I don't care about reuse. This is a character I thought we wouldn't really ever get in the line. It's a character that's great for me personally, in my opinion, to add to my collection. And I think he looks really good. Bonus, they fixed the ankle problem on the body they used. So that's nothing but a win to me. And also the accessories he comes with are really cool. So I like to see more of that happening in the line. And And I'm thinking they might have done that because he is a smaller figure. And of course, Carrie Kelly came with a Build-A-Horse piece. Maybe that's why they did it. But I would like to see more of that regardless. I think more is better always, especially when they're tiny things like hands. I mean, how much more could that raise the price of a figure? But anyway, really happy for this figure. Really happy to add him to my collection. I wish he looked a little more Jim Lee-ish. To me, not quite as much as I would have liked, but that is only a small nitpick. So I definitely recommend this figure if you were able to pick him up. And if you did pick him up, drop me a comment and tell me what you think of him. Do you like him as much as me, or do you hate him? And with that being said, as always, thank you for all the support. I've been getting tons of support lately, so thank you. If you enjoyed the video and you've just tuned in for the first time, please consider subscribing to support me even more. And I'm going to wrap things up, and I will catch you guys all later right back here on the Thwip side. Later.